and good afternoon once again. We've now got a tornado warning again in southeastern Texas. So if we go down and have a look at this storm, um, this is velocity mode. If we go to reflectivity, here's your thunderstorm. Um, it took me a few seconds to get this stream going, and it actually doesn't look uh, near as good as it did earlier. But regardless, a tornado warning is in effect for central Liberty County in southeastern Texas until 5 p.m. Central Time. So for the next 35 minutes. Um, and this for a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Um, and it is moving to the east by slightly northeast at 40 miles per hour. So if we go back in here, this is going to be near Moss Hill. And it looks like that is the only location in the warning right now. But it'll eventually head into Batson and Saratoga, and eventually on the north side of Beaumont. We go back in and look at velocity, and right in here, this is going to be your rotation and possible tornado. Now, we did have a tornado earlier in this area from a completely different storm south of Houston. Here's the current tornado warned storm. Here's Houston, and the other tornado happened just west of Angleton, right over in here near West Columbia. There you see West Columbia. So far it looks like Eastern Texas has been the hot spot so far today. We just got an update on the tornado warning. As of a minute ago, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Dayton Lakes, or 13 miles north of Liberty, and is moving east at 45 miles per hour. So that's where we currently have a tornado warning. We briefly had a tornado warning in far eastern Mississippi, but that did not last very long at all. Here's our only tornado warning. Let's take a look at the reflectivity, get a look at these storms. We've got another group of storms. Here's a supercell in eastern Texas getting ready to cross over into Louisiana. If we move out, you can see these blue markers. These are special marine warnings for thunderstorms that were in Texas but have moved out on into the Gulf briefly and will be moving into southern Louisiana within the next hour or so. We also have, if I change the look of this, we also have severe thunderstorm warnings in Mississippi. Here we've got a line of thunderstorms, squall line, and move through the Jackson area. Jackson, your severe weather is pretty much done. So there's no threat of severe weather in Jackson anymore. This has moved south of you, and I'm no longer expecting severe weather there. Now, here's where we had the tornado warning, and you see this symbol here. There was apparently a brief tornado 1 mile east of US Highway 45 near Quitman. It lasted about 30 seconds and then lifted. That is according to a spotter. So it looks like we did have a brief touchdown east of Quitman. And here's what's left of that storm. Well, here we go. Now we've got a tornado warning here back on this storm. And unfortunately, we're kind of in between a bunch of radar sites. So we'll have to go in and look at this storm. This is near Leesman or Cromwell. And it's going to be crossing. This is going to be crossing Alabama State Route 10. And there's the news scan. It's crossed Alabama State Route 10. It's getting ready to cross over Alabama State Highway 17. That'll be next. Pennington, you're in the line, and then that is along State Route 114, and eventually into Myrtlewood, and then up towards Linden as well. Again, tornado warning in effect here, and apparently there was a brief touchdown with this storm when it was over near Quitman, Mississippi. So that's the two tornado warnings that we have currently. This actually looks like it may come into up towards the Montgomery area if it keeps on this track. And yeah, we're not going to be able to really see this too well. So if we go back to the Texas storm, because we do have a good look on that particular storm, we'll zoom in on that one. This looks like it's cycling at the moment. It may even be interacting with another thunderstorm, and that's looking pretty high up. Let's try from Lake Charles, and also from Lake Charles it's a little bit high as well, but regardless, out of the two storms that I'm seeing, this is by far the strongest one. And we've got more storms to the north that look like they're trying to rotate. Let's look at velocity on this one. Again, that's looking pretty high up. Let's look at that one from here. And this is another area I'm concerned about. We may get another tornado warning in eastern Texas to the border of Louisiana and Texas. So things are starting to get active. We've had a handful of tornado reports today. I think actually only 2 or 3. And one of them was pretty sizable. I did not hear anything about damage. So we have hopefully so far not had too much damage done by tornadoes on a day that we're expecting long track, strong tornadoes. I'm going to look at from Montgomery. We've got another severe thunderstorm warning in Alabama. And look at this particular storm. There we go. And that one looks pretty weak. Things have been pretty messy so far, uh, which is a very good thing. The messier the storm mode is, the less of a chance that we have we'll have long track strong tornadoes. So again, here's our two storms. We got the one tornado warning in Alabama now. Again, this is for northern Choctaw County in Alabama, and it says that this is a storm capable of producing a tornado. If we go back to Texas on that supercell, get the latest, and if you notice, it looks disorganized based off of reflectivity, and there's no real strong couplet on velocity, so no longer seeing much of a rotation signature with this storm, but again, that could change, and you know, I do want to point out, hang on one second. So based off of what I'm seeing, the area that has the best potential for tornadoes is definitely south of I-20 now, in Mississippi, in Alabama, and even into Georgia, and also Louisiana as well. So my current thinking is that these storms that are moving into Louisiana now, and then also the ones that are along the Gulf, are going to be the ones that have the potential to produce those stronger tornadoes later on. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a few more hours yet before we see any real big severe weather, and hopefully we'll avoid it altogether. That would be real nice. But again, 2 tornado warnings. Here we are back in Alabama. This is near Pennington, southwest of Linden. This is south of Demopolis. Linden, Myrtlewood, Pennington, Providence, Dayton. You're all in the path of this storm. And that's pretty much what we've got right now. And we just lost the tornado warning in Texas. So now we're down to 1. Now we're down to 1 remaining tornado warning. If we go and look at velocity, that's too far. Let's look at it from Birmingham. And there is some rotation. Again, this is pretty high up. This is over 10,000 feet up, west of Pennington. Um, let's see. Just looking at some things here. Um, okay. Again, so we just have the one tornado warning, and let's go to correlation, and nothing conclusive there. If we go back to reflectivity, again, this is looking from pretty high up, but I'm not too impressed with this storm. I would suspect that we will probably lose this tornado warning soon, and if we get to that point, I'll point out a couple of things. There actually, since we can't get a good look on this at the moment, again, we've got a tornado watch for portions of Texas and Louisiana until believe till 10 p.m. And then we also have a new tornado watch. This is the one I wanted to show for far southeastern Mississippi and portions of southern Alabama, and that goes out until 11 p.m. Central. Those are both Central Time, and you notice on both of them there is the possibility and a high probability of strong tornadoes. So, and again, if we go back to the outlook, there's still a moderate risk out for this area. I think the actual area for the best chance of tornadoes is actually a bit thinner than this, but nonetheless, if you're in those areas, you want to take it very seriously. So if we're back here on the radar now, again, we've got the one tornado warning. And let's see, we are at Birmingham. So let's go back to Jackson, get a look at the storms that are coming in west of this warning, this tornado warning. We've got this line right here showing up, and that's going to be a damaging wind threat. Maybe an isolated brief spin up, but here's your once very small supercell. There's a little one right in here too, where we have the severe thunderstorm warning. Well, and we just lost that severe thunderstorm warning. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings in far eastern um, Mississippi and in far western, southwestern Alabama, and then the tornado warning also in southwest Alabama. And then we've got another area of severe weather in Louisiana and eastern Texas as well. Let's look at these real quick. And again, these are the ones I think are could produce quite a bit of damage. Look at all the lightning. Here you've got a squall line developing, and then you've got to the south here what was a supercell that has weakened quite a bit. And also now you've got several storms developing ahead of that. These may become severe and may produce tornadoes. These are going to be moving right in the area where the best rotation is, or not, excuse me, not rotation, but the best dynamics for strong tornadoes, which is going to be right in here. Right now, this is the best area, right over the Hattiesburg area. I think we just got a new tornado warning. Let me well, maybe not. I thought I saw something. Tornado warning remains in effect till 5:15 Central. So for the next half hour. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, and it's moving east at 40 miles per hour, east-northeast. So this is, again, the only tornado warning that we have at the moment. And again, that's a good thing. We do have other warnings, but these are, and I'll just point them out real quick. These are in Kansas and in Oklahoma. These are going to be hail producers. This one is near Greensburg, Kansas. And that storm is capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and half dollar size hail. And then we go into the panhandle of Oklahoma. Well, let me go back up to the other one. I should probably mention the warning. The counties. So this is going to be for eastern Kiowa County in south central Kansas on that one near Greensburg. And then the other one is near Gate or Ralston. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Harper County until 5:15. This one is capable of 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. So that is all of the warnings. Now that we did that, let's go back. And I'm going to kind of bounce around on the radar sites here. And if we go to Jackson again, we've got, again, the one tornado warning. We had the one brief tornado report near Quitman. But nothing since then. And this, again, this tornado warning goes out until 5:15. So the next 25 minutes, and it looks like they're even going to either they're going to replace it with a severe thunderstorm warning, or the storm ahead of it has now gone severe. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Marengo County in southwestern Alabama until 5:30 p.m. Central Time. So then for the next 40 minutes. At 4:48, a severe thunderstorm was located over Myrtlewood, or 13 miles west of Linden, moving east at 55 miles an hour. That's picking up a lot of speed. That storm is capable of 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail, and it does have a tornado possible tag on it. So I assume that we are about to lose the tornado warning that we had, and it's been replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. So if we do lose the tornado warning, again, we'll go off. I'm only going to stay on for tornado warnings. If we go to velocity, again, this is going to be from very high up, and it's real hard to see what's going on there. So it seems to me south of, you see this line right here, it seems to me that anywhere along or south of this line is going to have the best tornado potential going forward, particularly right in here in far southern Mississippi into Alabama. That's going to be the best potential for strong tornadoes. But so far, we have not really seen that today, which is really good. And hopefully we won't. So again, this tornado warning that we have in Alabama is out for roughly the next 25 minutes. But I would not be surprised if they took the warning out early within the next few minutes here. So let's back out. So there's the line again heading toward Meridian. Let's click on that. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for Jasper, southeastern Newton, Clark, and Lauderdale counties in Mississippi until 5:45, and that is a line of storms that's moving east at 65. So that line is moving very quickly to the east and is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. If we go back down into Louisiana with these new storms that are developing, and okay, here we go. If you notice, we've got semi-discrete, what appears to be semi-discrete supercells developing. You've got one here, you've got one here, you've got one here, one here, one here, and one here, and even maybe another one right here. So it'll be interesting to see if they stay supercellular and semi-discrete, or if they congeal into a secondary line. In which case, if we get a line, you're talking about mostly damaging winds, isolated tornado threat. With supercells, you're talking about damaging wind and tornado threat, and a possible, with today's dynamics, possible strong tornadoes. So it'll just have to be something to watch. Let's look at that storm back in Texas again. And that one is currently looking pretty rough, not very organized at all. So again, hopefully that's a good sign. And the storms that are ahead of it will also likely steal a lot of the energy that this storm would have had to run into. So, okay, now we've got a new tornado warning. This one is in Louisiana, and that is going to be. Look at this. Here we are. Here we've got an appendage of what looks like a. Oh yeah. It looks like we've got a potential tornado on the north side of Leesville. It just crossed US 171. Let's look at there. We've got a debris. Looks like a debris signature as well. Looks like we've got a tornado on the ground north of Leesville, and this is going to be moving off to the east. Let's see. This is a tornado warning for northeastern Vernon Parish until 5:15 Central Time at 4:55. So 2 minutes, well, a minute ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Leesville, moving east at 55 miles an hour. This storm is also capable of producing golf ball size hail. So while if we go back here to reflectivity, while it looks like this is along a line, this is now likely producing a tornado near Leesville. So if you're near Slagle, this is right along State Route 8. This is near State Route 468. It's going to be crossing several places along that, as long as State Route 28. This is going to be near Hicks. This is going to be near North Fort Polk. This is actually going to come right near the radar site. Right here's the radar site. Here's your tornado. So if we look at the correlation coefficient again, which this area of blue, here's your debris ball, and we are looking at 84 feet up. So if we go to velocity, we've definitely got a tornado on the ground, and we've got a gate-to-gate shear roughly of about 60 to 70 miles an hour, which would be a smaller end tornado, but nonetheless a tornado on the ground near Leesville. And this is, again, looking very, very close to the radar site. Real quickly, okay, so we don't have an update. We'll probably lose that other tornado warning, so we'll stick with this. Although, looking here in Louisiana, in far southeastern Louisiana, we've now got a severe thunderstorm warning, and again, this is along these semi-discrete cells that are developing. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for West Feliciana and Central Point Coupe parishes until 6 p.m. Central Time, and this storm is moving northeast at 60 miles an hour, and it has the potential to produce quarter-sized hail. So Okay, we looked at that real quick. Let's go back down to the Leesville storm. If we go back to correlation, now it looks like we may have lost the debris signature. Let's look at velocity, and well, I'm not ready to say that yet, but we definitely it definitely got weaker. It may have lifted, but it's still a couplet showing up north of North Fort Polk. And again, this is going to be heading straight for the radar site, so we may actually, if there is a tornado, we may lose the radar site. Go back to reflectivity. There's your notch. There's your tornado. Very clear signature east of Leesville, and this is riding along State Route 8, and it's going to come in right where State Route 8 and 468 come together. So anyone living in that area, take cover. Take cover now. Again, this is south of Slagle, southwest of Hicks. This is going to be coming close to Hicks. This will be near Leander in the next probably 20 to 30 minutes. So again, if you're anywhere in these areas, take cover. It looks like we did have a tornado on the ground. Not sure if we still do. Again, here's your velocity signature. That's actually south of State Route 8. It's getting ready to cross 468. So go back to correlation coefficient. There may be a light debris signature showing up still. It's nowhere near what it was earlier. If we go back to reflectivity, still that notch showing up. So definitely a strong thunderstorm to say the least. And did we get a new? Okay, that's out till 6:15. So now we've got some tornado vortex signatures showing up along the line here. Let's look at these. Not seeing anything there that looks like definite rotation. The only place that I'm seeing that is down where we have the tornado warning currently. And again, that is heading straight for the radar site. We're just going to kind of keep bouncing along here with looking at the velocity, the correlation coefficient, and also reflectivity. Hang on one second. So this is north of North Fort Polk, and it almost looks like it may be actually moving east southeast, so it may miss the radar site depending on what this next scan shows, but nonetheless, you know, we've got again what looks like it had been a tornado right near Leesville. It was relatively brief. Um, Now, west of there, we've got this other storm developing near South Toledo Bend, and that is in Texas, right on the border. And that storm looks like it's a lot of its energy is being stolen from the storm that's currently tornado warned. But once this line moves through, um, well, I take that back. We've got another storm developing behind that. I don't expect much. We'll have to watch this and see what happens. Um, but it's that storm would be moving into uh, an area where storms have really worked the atmosphere over. Um, and there's a lot of TVS is showing up along the line, and then also look at these trying to be supercells, but they're looks like they're trying to congeal into a line. Now this storm right here really has my attention because that's going to be moving into um, an area that has not had much weather at all today. Not much severe weather, rather. So we'll have to watch that one. But again, here's the latest scan, and that hook is definitely more pronounced. Now we just got another scan, and sometimes the radar will try to catch up. That see if we can. That looks weaker now. The velocity couplet. It looks like this is actually beginning to weaken as far as velocity goes. Well, just as I say that, looks like maybe we do have another debris ball, and this is looking at 483 feet. So if we look at the velocity in that area, we could see a weak. We may have a weak tornado just to the west of the radar site. Well, and now that just got stronger, and we are now looking at well, still relatively weak, but we probably do have a small tornado on the ground. And it's when you get this close to the radar site, it begins to be a little bit more difficult to tell. But again, near Hicks, south of Sligo, this is probably your debris signature right here, which is very, very small. But again, we've likely got a tornado, a couple of tornadoes that have developed, and there's your latest scan, and that's going to be your tornado. If we back out, let's look at this from velocity, or not velocity, reflectivity. A very strong indication though of rotation. You've got this hook shape, and if you've ever seen me talk about severe weather before, especially today too, you look for that hook feature on reflectivity, and then you go into velocity and to find rotation. And again, um, looks like we're looking at somewhere around 60 to 70 mile an hour gate to gate shear with this storm. There's your rotation right there. And so again, you want to take cover, and if we back out again, this is our only tornado warning that we have right now. One of the great things about today has been we haven't had too many tornado warnings in effect at the same time so far. But my concern is that we're not done yet. And it looks like we're not even close to being done. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning now down in Texas and crossing over into western Louisiana. And this storm, I believe, is the storm that was also tornado warned earlier. And again, you still got that hook showing up. And then you've got here, you've got a supercell here that's severe warned. You've got another supercell here that is severe warned. So these are the ones I'm going to be really concerned about. But we've got a new tornado warning now. And actually, let's go back over to these other ones. And so there's your supercell. There's another supercell. There's another one. And then they start to congeal more into a line. But look at all of these potential areas of rotation, these TVSs. And this one, I believe, is going to end up being a not legit one. But we've got a new, well, no. Here's your potential tornado now. And looks like we may have another debris signature. Go to reflectivity, and yeah, I think we've got another tornado, if it's not the same one, very close to the radar site. And if we look at the new warning, this is a tornado warning for Rapids and Vernon parishes, southwestern Rapids, east central Vernon parishes until 5:45 Central Time. At 5:11, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Slagle, moving east at 50 miles an hour. The storm's capable of producing a tornado and golf ball size hail. If there is a tornado on the ground, we're going to know about it real soon because, again, the radar site's there. I believe the National Weather Service site is also there. So definitely want to take cover. If you're south of Hicks, near Leander or Heinston, you'll definitely want to take cover. Few more areas down the road, Calcasio. Now these are a lot of Cajun French names, so if I butcher these, I apologize. Melder, and then Cypher and Otis are also in the tornado warning technically, but I think that's going to remain to your south. Now this is also going to get real difficult to see because we are very, very close. Look at this. We're 140 feet, looking 140 feet up from the radar site now. And if we go to the correlation, this is, I believe this is going to be possibly a debris signature. But it's so close, it's really hard to tell anymore. So, again, we're real close to the radar site. If there is a tornado, we're gonna know it pretty soon. And while it's hard to see what's going on there, let's take advantage and look at these other storms. And these are starting to exhibit some rotation as these start moving into the area that I was concerned about for the possibility of some stronger tornadoes. And then of course you've got this other one that's going to go north of Lake Charles that doesn't look particularly strong in terms of rotation currently, but it's out by itself. And you know, there's the possibility that those could this could produce another tornado as well. If we look at this from, let's look at it from here. And it's over the radar site now. The area of rotation is right over the radar site, and it looks like, I mean, this is higher up, so it's hard to really tell, but we'll have to wait and see if we lose the radar site. There's the latest scan from this radar site, and yeah, it's right over top the radar. So we'll know real soon whether or not there's currently a tornado on the ground or not. And so again, we've got several rounds that have developed over here in Alabama. You've got the line developed. Let's look at it from Birmingham. You got the line getting ready to move out of Mississippi and into Alabama, and then you've got the warm front with some storms in Alabama. So that is actually round 2, and we've got round 3 and round 4 right here. So